let's move on here, because I want to ask you whether there should be limits on the extent to which technology can take over in certain areas. And I'm thinking now of the case, some of you may have heard about this, but there was, it was an imaginary case, but it was a driverless car which was programmed by its owner. And it was, well, actually, no, let's say it was programmed by the manufacturer. Its owner sat in the back of the car as it was going along a dual carriageway. And suddenly, 5 people stepped out into the path of the car at the very last minute. Dilemma for the car: does it actually kill one person, its owner, by avoiding those 5 people and going into a tree, or does it plough into those 5 people, certainly killing some of them, but also risking the death of its owner? What is the, if that car is programmed by a human being, then the natural instinct would be to save 5 lives and kill your owner. Now, the owner wouldn't like that. So therefore, does somebody not be pleased? So does the owner then require his car to be programmed that in a life-threatening situation, the car has to act in a way that actually preserves the life of that person?
Because we are getting closer and closer to that being a reality. If you look at all the autopilot stuff that Tesla's about to roll out, it's driving itself, it's making decisions, and it's deciding to stop as quickly as it can. The only thing it hasn't made a leap to is the context decision making about who are the people, other people it might bump into. And I'm glad that's the case. But it's not very far away before the decision will be, how much insurance have you got? How much money have you got in the bank? What other impact do you have on society? What other impact do the people in front of me have on society? I don't think it's too much of a leap to, I know it's a subject we were talking about later, but the idea of China's social credit system kind of scares me and interests me immensely. They have the ability, everybody in the country has a score, and that score is impacted by your criminality, or how much money you've got in the bank, or what things you volunteer for. But it has direct impact to your day-to-day. If you have a bad score, you can't sit in certain classes on the train, or you can't get certain hotel rooms. But if you have a good score, maybe you get given free hotel rooms, or you get given upgrades on your next plane ride. So everybody has this social credit score system.
So is that a good thing, because it actually encourages the society to be generally well behaved and to strive to do better? Whereas it's the renegades in society and the troublemakers and the criminals who have a low score and therefore can't do some of the things that can't take advantage of some of the perks that the better behaved people can take advantage of.
And it's a way of controlling the masses. We have them and we just call them law. And if you're naughty, we'll tell you off and we'll fine you and we'll send you to prison. We don't have to have an absolute score system. But actually we do. The UK we all have a credit score connected to our finances, only our finances in theory. And that credit score is our ability to take loans and get mortgages and future things. We just haven't made the data connection between that credit score system and some other day-to-day things we care about. But when I first heard about the Chinese universal credit system, I was appalled. And so they were in a Black Mirror episode. How possibly could they live like that? But I'm going, well, it's already underpinning most of British society. And then going back to the question about the automotive car, picking about who it's going to knock off or not, I think that at some point it's going to happen, that we're going to have to get AI to make a decision about, is it protecting you, and have I paid enough to be looked after, or is it going to try and make a decision to say those people in front are actually more valuable than me?
Yeah, which is slightly frightening, isn't it?
And they always are going to be more valuable than me, so it's fine. You guys are all fine.
No, actually, really frightening. But there are ways in which the credit system that you talked about with China, Japan is doing something that is really, really interesting, and it's being replicated in parts of northern Germany, and it is a care credit system, so that if you as an individual decide in the course of your working life that you would like to spend an hour or 2 hours a week looking after someone else, someone in the community, that for the time you spend on that, you get credits. and you can then use those credits either to store them up so that you can get the help you need when you get older and become perhaps incapacitated, or you can use those credits to get someone to look after your elderly mother who lives 500 miles away and you only get to see her once every 2 months. Now that is actually a very good use of a credit system, isn't it?
Well, the construct with Japan, and I think is so interesting, is that they're just focusing on social worth, social care, and the good nature of humanity to support each other, and trying to find a new way of wrapping that up so that it encourages it to happen. We always need some sort of gamification to encourage us. Either a lure, you do good things will happen, or a stick, do good things or else I'll hit you. When it comes down to it, we do need that kind of push and pull mechanism. And I think that British society over time has lost a lot of its good nature. So I think it's a really interesting thing. I don't know if it will work in the UK,